What up, everybody? This is Josh Alias from Urban Architects NYC. If you're getting this video, you're part of the core UA fan base. You're on the mailing list. You know, you're part of the real fans, man, the core fans. And we never do things like this. I never did something like this, so it's gonna be a little awkward. You know, I don't have no notes. I'm gonna just one take and keep it a bean with y'all like I'm conversating. But I thought it was important for me to record this so y'all could get a little behind the scenes and context on Atlas, the album, you know? So I'm gonna be really real right now. Like, you know, everybody knows me as like a jokester, you know what I'm saying? And I'm still that dude. But when it comes to music, I take this stuff so seriously. So I might be like a little too woke or too deep sounding. And respectfully, I don't care. I'm gonna just keep it a bean. That I've always been that way. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm gonna just talk to y'all about this album, bro. So the reason this album is different is because all my other albums, you know, I was like figuring life out. Like if you guys know me, and you guys do, right? You guys know my music is not like for the masses. It's like spiritual music. It's music that makes you feel. You know what I'm saying? Music you can relate to, reflect to. You know, hopefully spark some change to. You know what I mean? That's because that's what it's been for me. It's been a tool for me to be able to do that. You know, and I think the reason people connect with me so much on us, even if we're not famous or whatever, on a small scale of our community, like I've been able to see like real change in people's lives because of our music, and that's something I don't take lightly. You know what I'm saying? I really do appreciate it. Feel me? And the difference is like this album is like the final stages of me figuring it out, like figuring out what I've been trying to figure out for like 10, 15 years about myself, about life, about God, about my spirituality, about my flaws, my vices, you know what I'm saying? Like deep things that we all go through on a day to day, you know what I mean? And it's been a progression, and it's powerful because the album is filled with songs from the last 3 years. You guys wouldn't even know that. You know, a lot of the songs that were never going to come out, but, you know, I had a recent revelation where I felt like this is important for people to hear because it's part of my journey, and it's different because it has snapshots of different places of my life. My life has drastically changed in 3 years. Drastically. A lot of trauma, a lot of crazy things, a lot of beautiful things, you know what I'm saying? And you can hear in every song a different perspective, a different tonality, a different emotion, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't always done on purpose, but it was so cool how my life was captured in this album. You know what I'm saying? So high level, Growing Pains, if you guys know, that was like my entrance into the rap game. You know what I'm saying? That changed my life. That was literally what it was, Growing Pains. It was like my entrance to music, but it was also me as a boy trying to figure out life, to be like from a boy to a man, and the hardships that came with that. And then I dropped Duality, which was balance, you know what I'm saying? Balance between good and evil. Like I knew of good, and I was exposed to God and the beautifulness of the world, but I also was lost in the world and living a worldly, sinful lifestyle, and almost drawing closer to the evil. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know, that's just what it was at the time. Then I made Faith, which is like the next step after Duality. You know what I mean? Like where I finally realized I want to stay on the good side. Like I love God. I'm trying to change my life. Faith. I'm starting to get faith now. I'm seeing the miracles. I'm seeing, and I'm not trying to be preachy, y'all. This is just the truth of my life. You feel me? This is where like all my stories come into. And now this is like the last album between like before my transition into like full on Christian music. So y'all, this is the last secular album. I'm gonna keep it a bean. You feel me? I just been, you know, life's just beating down your boy, man. I've been through so much, and I can tell you, no matter what you think you want in this world, it doesn't bring you peace. You know what I'm saying? I entered the music game as a kid for money, clout, whatever, and I got that on a small scale. I experienced it, and music has opened amazing doors for me, even on a small scale, to travel the world, to get money off my art, to meet cool people, to get opportunities I always dreamt of, you know, and the things that I always wanted, I got, you know what I'm saying? And I was still lost, you know what I mean? And then about a year ago, I had a crazy spiritual experience. I was in a life and death situation. Maybe one day I'll open up to y'all, but it was really personal, and it was life and death. And I cried out to God. I was like, God, like, don't let me go out this way. You feel me? Like, I can't, like, you know what I'm saying? I know I'm getting deep, but it's just real life. You know, it's like an emotional kind of topic. and I had a spiritual divine experience, like for real. And I know y'all probably not gonna rock with that, but I don't really care. I'm just keeping it. I can't lie, you know. And it all clicked. Like damn, all the pain comes with purpose. That's a mantra I live with. Pain comes with purpose. You know what I'm saying? Um, and now it all makes sense. Like all of that was meant to be for this moment, for me to release this album. And I wasn't gonna release this album after that spiritual revelation. I was like, all this worldly music is corny. Like, why am I even dropping music, boasting myself and my skills? Like, this ain't benefiting nobody. Even though I know it helps people, I was like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, what's the purpose of all this? And I realized like I think it's important to show like this chapter of my journey before my next chapter. You know, like the story wouldn't make sense without this album, if that makes sense. I make albums of like it's like my albums are like a snapshot of my life. You know what I'm saying? And without Atlas being out, if I dropped a Christian album, it just wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense to y'all. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't make sense to a listener. Um, because the Atlas album is what's gonna put those pieces together of why I make Christian music. You know what I'm saying? Or do stuff for God. Is after you hear like the last transitional phase of myself. You know what I mean? And maybe y'all don't get it, and that's okay. But if you listen to it, you know, just know this isn't club music. This is music to make you feel. You know, I wasn't trying to be depressed. It's not a depressed album at all. It's a very self-reflective, conscious, beautiful album, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? But it does have powerful emotions in there. I stopped trying to write raps to impress people because I know I'm not. I'm just kidding. But like, you know, in hip hop, you got to be like cocky and the best and stuff. And for a while, I was like that, and then I stopped caring, bro. Now I'm just trying to make music to make you feel. You know what I'm saying? Like make you feel something, invoke some emotion. And you know, shout out to Waz for mixing the album. Shout out to Two from Ridgewood, for Marathon Studios for mixing the album. A couple joints. Vinny Macbeth, big shout out to you. Blue, my favorite rapper of all time, is on the album. Young K, my family, UA. You know what I'm saying? So many people I want to thank, and I can't even do that right now. But I just want to say glory to God. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to convert nobody. I'm just here to be honest with my story. And this album is the missing piece of the Alias catalog for everything moving forward to make sense. So, you know, and I went through a lot to get this album out, just so you know. A lot of legal problems, you know, and I probably spend more money trying to get this album out than I'll make if I'm keeping it being. So I appreciate if you guys buy the album. That would mean a lot to me. It'll help me recoup a little bit.